rushing. Yes, always rushing. Yeah. I usually start my interviews all sweaty. It's really stupid, especially during summer festivals.
Yeah. I bet you. Yeah.
But this also goes on audio format. So could you guys say your names and introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hello, I'm James.
Hello, this is the voice of Bane.
The voice of doom.
The Trump speech was kind of like Bane. Some articles online are saying that.
We didn't hear much of it, but everything about his delivery and the things that he's saying, it is cartoonish. You know.
Well, I'm not trying to put any buzzwords or anything on during this chat of ours, but and not to start off by with Trump, and I successfully avoided it though. Like the whole inauguration day and the inauguration speech, I was like managed to shut it off because I didn't want to know. Really.
It's tough. I mean, it's such an important part in the world's future. You know, it really is, and I think it'd be foolish to ignore it. But there's certainly a part of my brain that's getting to the point where it's like it's saturation levels, and I now need to concentrate on my family and those that are around me and my little part of the world, as it were. And there's nothing I can really do to change things in America. And eventually, I'm kind of like, we need to sort of get on with our lives here as best we can. And we need to be there to support each other, but he's taking over everything we're doing, and I don't want that to happen to my life.
Well, I mean, foolishly, willingly you can shut it off for a little while, and that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's it.
It's foolish, but if you completely ignore it, right? But sometimes it's just a little much.
I think everybody needs a break. It's not fun anymore, so I can understand why you want to just get a break from it, because every day it's like a whole new reveal of madness, and it's hard to keep up. So you do need to take a break, or you go insane.
It's like the madness onion.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Madness onion.
Fantastic. You got it spot on.
Keeps on giving.
And if you cut it, makes you cry.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
nice.
And it goes well with the ragu and stuff.
Perfect. You got it summed up, man.
It makes you stink as well.
Yeah. Good one. That's wow. That's on the money as well. But so you guys played here a bunch of times in Portugal, and it's mainly festivals. This is the first one that you're having a gig, a big venue gig on your own, right?
That's right. Yeah, we've been kind of waiting a long time. It's been quite tough not having come to do our own show, but hopefully the wait will be worthwhile. Because we've always had a great time here at the festivals at Noxx Alive, and Portugal's always treated us really well. So it's about time we come and did our own show. But people here are really passionate about music, love their music, love life, love to have a good time, and we're no different to that. So I think we'll have a good one tonight.
It's rainy-ish. It's cold-ish for Lisbon purposes. For Lisbon, I mean references or whatever. You guys get it. But and there's people outside, so they're lining up in queues. So
we saw a few people come in this morning. Everyone was really nice. There's the ubiquitous Brit in the middle of the crowd as well. But no, really nice. People welcomed. It's nice to, it kind of strikes me a lot. Every time you take a few weeks off the road, you have a kind of new appreciation for what it is that you do. And now that we've had a few weeks off over Christmas now and come back to tour and thinking that we're more than 1,000 miles from home, but it feels like we're at home because people make us feel so welcome, and it's really nice.
And you guys have a following that literally follows you around?
Usually in most tours we have people that are at least a handful of people that are at every single show. I don't know where they find the money, or I don't know how they're not completely bored of us already, because they've seen us so many times. But thank you for coming back again and again. I do appreciate it.
And do you guys, while you're playing any shows over here, did you at some point or at any point go like, right, now we have a Portuguese crowd?
Hopefully that moment will happen tonight. It certainly felt, like I mentioned, we felt welcomed here before. We've always had a great time at the festivals. Something changes when you play your own show and people have bought a ticket just to see you. You can have that connection. We're playing songs from the new album now, so it's a chance to kind of create the bond that hopefully will last for many years to come. And We love to play shows, so hopefully people won't get bored of us.
Well, there's a lot. Even if people are getting into you now, there's a lot of back catalog that's very interesting. So, very interesting. I'm a longtime fan. So yeah. This is a disclaimer. I should have started with this, but whatever. There's a disclaimer. There's a disclaimer. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I didn't sleep.
You know too much English. That's your problem. Your English is incredible.
Thank you so much. But I'm a longtime fan. Like a friend of mine got me into you guys back in 2005 with Infinity Land.
Yeah.
And we for Made of Things, which is the name of the show, have been doing parties and lately, and I play My Recovery Injection.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. And they're mainly rock parties, and I still love that song. And then went back to Vertigo is Bliss. Then because you guys were on MTV2, the late MTV2, all the time, which was great, with Puzzle and Only Revolutions. So all those singles, I was going through them today earlier, and again, and I was like, these are like imprinted in my brain. I know these, even sometimes I remember the name of the song or something. I know or which one is which or something, because they were all like, they were just being fed into my brain, because I used to have MTV2 on like the whole night or something, and so those were there. But you guys have stayed somewhat homogenous still. Like the songwriting is there, you can tell, and you guys can. Have you guys always had the same artistic goal with your music, or has it been changing?
I think it's changed. It's gone on a journey. One thing that stayed constant is us trying to make music that we enjoy, that makes us excited, that when you're in the studio or in the practice room, you're like looking at each other like, yeah, we've got it, we've cracked it, and that's the moment you're always searching for. It's not always easy to find. Some songs you really have to work hard on the tempo or the arrangement or the lyrics, of course, and the music, but I'm just trying to think of what the journey we've taken. So you mentioned maybe Infinity Land. The songs in there are all like a journey, like My Recovery Injection, you never know where it's going to go next, and I think after having gone through that journey in our first 3 albums, it was time for us to take a slight step into the next chapter and the next start of the next trilogy with Puzzle. I think at that point the lyrics became a little more important and the music became a little simplified to allow the vocal, the lyrics, a little bit of space. So there have been adjustments along the way. On this latest album, we've really embraced kind of new technology and really using the studio to its full potential. In the past, we almost used just to go in and do the drums, and
which just has its charm, though.
It does absolutely. I mean, we've always worked hard. This time there's a little more experimentation. So we're always trying to find a new avenue, a new path. But I don't think we've ever left the main road. We've always been trying to kind of make the music that we enjoy, and hopefully other people enjoy it as well.
And do you feel like this is the way that, well, who knows the future, but this is the way you're going to go, but maybe increasing production value, decreasing production value, but it's always the songwriting is going to be there,
Yeah. I mean, all we know is that we're going to do our best to not repeat ourselves musically or artistically, but the next album will sound probably more like Ellipsis than it will sound like anything else previous. So that's about all we can tell for the future so far, and we're going to continue to experiment in the studio, and we're hopefully going to record again with Rich Costy. That's about all we know at the moment, but and we'll just try and please ourselves, like James said. That's what we always do, make music that we would buy, that we want to listen to.
Or an album full of odd time signatures and halftones and shrieking into people's ears, and it's a complete surprise or something.
But that would be, we still love that kind of music, but for us that would be artistically a step backwards. So maybe we'll revisit that kind of a million ideas in one song one day, but not at the moment.
Sure, absolutely. And do you guys feel that with Ellipsis, well, obviously it has been going really well with it being number 1 in the UK and stuff. So and congratulations on that. But did you feel that it could have been a moment in which someone would like a fan or something would go like, oh, Ellipsis, okay, I'll take the hint, and so I'll skip this one. I'll go back to this later.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think I know you're sort of tongue-in-cheek there, but I think any time you release a record, you run the risk of alienating people. But I think as a band, you owe it to yourself to try not worry about that too much. I mean, we care so much that the fans like the music, but if we sat in the studio trying to write the songs that we thought they would like, there's no way we would get it right. You can never second guess all of your fans and make something that they want to hear. So, as we both,
you shouldn't, right?
No, not
compromise for what someone else wants.
You don't want that, from your movie stars, from your bands, you don't want those people to just cater exactly to you. You fell in love with them because they were doing what they believed in the first instance, so let the bands take care of the music.
Sure, exactly. Plus, as music fans, I think that's at least my take on it is just that sometimes fans are really harsh when bands go some. I'm not saying that's your case. I'm saying, like, for instance, bands that have had significant changes in sound that have rather shocked fans, but sometimes you kind of have to. You need to let your favorite artists do that. So because it's a learning process, even as a listener.
Absolutely. Look at the journey the Beatles took in 10 years. The journey that Bowie took. I think all these great artists of a different era were allowed a little bit more license to explore the horizons, and
those are insane examples.
Oh, incredible! And if you look at Hunky Dory and Let's Dance, the journey between, I don't know what the time difference was, probably 10 or 12 years, maybe a little more, but the journey between those two records is incredible. And I'm certainly not trying to hold us in the same company as Bowie and the Beatles, but if we could sort of take inspiration from that, I think that would be a good start for us.
Fantastic. And did you have any specific emotional motivation for this record?
I think probably after a long time on the road with the last record, we were a little bit burnt out. I think spent probably a little too much time on the road, and so you kind of get home and you're searching for answers, searching for clues. I mean, it sounds a little melodramatic, but suddenly you're sitting on your couch after spending 2 years going around the world, just thinking, well, what now? And so you start building a fight, and I think the hunger came from wanting to fight for our place, our position as a band. I think a lot of people around the band were trying to get in Simon's head and give him ideas and things
really?
About some people that they're kind of making out that they're there to help you, but really they're there to help themselves. And so I think that made Simon sing about animals and that animalistic instinct. And The Wolves of Winter is about trying to reclaim your patch. And
awesome song, by the way.
Thank you very much. And being like a gang together, a wolf pack, and don't come on our patch because this is our band. No one else is. If the band stops tomorrow, we're the ones that our life stops. Everyone else can go and work with all the other bands and stuff. So I think that was kind of the sort of loosely some of the themes that you can see through the record.
Oh, fantastic! It's very curious that now it has this narrative to go along with it. But this is for a show, as I said before, called Made of Things, and it's based on the assumption that, well, you dedicated yourselves to music as an artist because you heard something or watched something or read something or experienced something that made you go like, oh, I really want to do that for the longest possible period possible. Did you guys have that? And if so, what was it?
You mean you definitely had it with the drums?
I think the one kind of piece of media that inspired me to be in a band was watching Nirvana at, I think it was MTV Awards. It was on late one night. I should have been in bed. I think it was Aneurysm. I think they played or something like that.
I don't remember, but there's that famous moment where Chris gets his bass and throws up.
I guess it was that one. But I was super young. I was maybe 13 or 14 and watching television when I should have been asleep. And it's the dynamics that band possessed, and
I was 11.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. And it changed my life. I woke up the next day going to school like I'm going to start listening to this band now. At the time I was listening to fucking Too Unlimited and
Really?
oh yeah, like I was listening to techno.
No limits.
Yeah, No Limits, Reach for the Sky, No Valley Too Deep, No Mountain Too High.
We know
Still
the
remember
song,
lyrics?
we know the song.
Come on.
Okay.
And
It's a bit of her nickname is because Leonora for short is Nônô.
Okay,
She's doing second camera for the people who aren't watching, who can see it. No, so it's no limits.
fantastic.
Leonora for short is Nônô. So yeah.
It all ties in, but I had some pretty awful taste in music up until hearing Nirvana. So that very much changed my mind on the music I wanted to listen to and pursue. But also, I hadn't really thought about being in a band until that moment. I thought maybe it was something that wasn't attainable to me. But Nirvana were playing quite simple music, and it sounded like something we could do. So that kind of brought me and Simon together as well as in school, and made us want to jam together, and I started this whole thing.
And how about you?
I was probably a little more of a reluctant participant in some regard at the start.
You drank along the way then?
Maybe it was like a lack of confidence or thinking, can I actually do this? I didn't really play as much as the guys. There were always guitars in the house. Music was always a big part of my life. I always had a deep love for music, but I just didn't really see myself playing. I mean, this is at 14, so it didn't last very long, because then we were in the garage making as much noise as we could and pissing off our parents and the whole street, making as much noise as we could, and we just fell in love with making that beautiful noise together. And it wasn't that beautiful at that time, I suppose, but
I'm sure it was.
we thought it was great. And
I'm not sycophanting. I'm saying like that noise is fantastic. So
that's it. I mean, when you're a kid and you've got some aggression that comes from I don't know where, suddenly as a young man you become kind of angry, and you're like, it's just being a teenager, I suppose. But it was just that the camaraderie and the bond, kind of us against the world, that sort of feeling. We had a gang. It was a bit of a purpose, and it was fucking hell of a good fun.
And what about like when you guys become more technically developed? Was there any catalyst, like inspirationally?
I actually asked myself a similar question the other day. We started to play shows and learn about doing a sound check, and then you start to ask questions about, well, what happens after the sound goes into the microphone? How does it get to the speakers? And if that's where you're going with this question, we started to become a little more interested in the technical side of things. And Ben and I went to college in Glasgow to study music technology and production and that sort of thing. So I think just spending time, we've been so lucky to spend make 7 records with some amazing people and learn little things as we go along. We've still got a lot to learn. We learned so much on this record working with Rich Costy, and there's no right and wrong way to do anything. You can have a really old school approach with tape machines and old desks, or you can, Rich was he just didn't know what you were going to get from one moment to the next. He was always just grabbing bits of equipment from here and there, and as you mentioned it last night, he's like, I just got this new toy, and he's like, sounds pretty good. Just a really enthusiastic guy and a really amazing guy to be with. So we've been lucky to learn from these guys.
And the pack is still holding on together after all this time.
We're fucking together, man. We ain't going anywhere.
Fantastic. That's good. And I'm glad that you guys have been growing and achieving so much success as well.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Nice to talk to you, man.
Thank you. And same.
You do really amazing English.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I don't want to be sycophantic. It's like, fuck, I only just learned Well done, really.
Well, I learned it by watching Monty Python tapes. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because we have subtitles over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we used to
like
have
MTV,
subtitles.
you're just picking it up.
Oh yeah. And,
you do English in school, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Well,
but basically, when we started, yeah.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah.
And I actually started having English classes in 2nd grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they shipped in a teacher from England.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't know a word of Portuguese.
Oh no. Shit. Well, how can you teach him?
Like 2nd grade. Luckily, I already spoke English
You had a
fluently.
little, right? Okay.
Yeah, same with me.
You're
like,
probably taking the class then.
Yeah, I was like the assistant teacher in second grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that continued all through high school.
Jeez.
Wow.
Like whenever there was like a subject that people needed
A
like,
bit of help.
Yeah.
it was
Same with
always
me,
like,
yeah.
No. Would you kindly?
Yeah, we started English classes when I was 9, and I already knew like
Jeez,
half of
incredible.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just kids learn stuff.